I started training calisthenics more than a decade ago. Over the years I gained extensive experience, earned my personal trainer certification and had the privilege of coaching dozens of clients. Looking back, I can say with certainty that I made a lot of mistakes in my trainings. Mistakes that slowed me down and kept me from reaching my goals as efficiently as I could have. In the beginning, working out was a fun, social activity I did with friends. I had a passion for gymnastics and martial arts, but when I transitioned to calisthenics, I had no idea how to structure my training. I didn't know what exercises to focus on, how often to train, or how to perform movements in a way that would ensure steady progress. Over time, I managed to achieve many of the goals I set for myself, but my journey could have been much smoother if I had known what I know now. Looking back, there are 5 key lessons that would have made a huge difference had I learned them earlier. Hopefully, sharing my experience can save you a ton of frustration and wasted effort. When I first started training, I made the same mistake many beginners do. I copied workouts without really understanding how or why they worked. I'd see someone doing an exercise, mimic their movement and hope for results. But I wasn't training with intent, I was just going through the motions. It wasn't until I pursued my personal trainer certification that I truly started to understand the mechanics of the human body. I began to understand how muscles work together, how joints move, and how proper exercise selection prevents imbalances and injuries. If I could start over, I wouldn't just train harder. I would train smarter by learning the fundamentals of anatomy from day one. Think about it, if you don't understand which muscles you are targeting, how will you know that you're engaging them correctly? How will you know that you're not compensating with the wrong muscles, setting yourself up for injury, or missing key areas in your training? This is why I always educate my clients, not just on what to do, but why we do it. If we are training antagonistic muscle groups, I explain how balancing push and pull movements prevents imbalances. If we are focusing on mobility, I highlight how joint health is essential for long-term strength and injury prevention. I don't want people to go through workouts. I want them to understand how their body moves so they can make progress for life. When you understand basic movement principles, you gain the ability to analyze and refine your own form. Instead of relying on a coach or tutorial videos forever, you develop an intuitive sense of how to move efficiently. Proper exercise form stops being about memorizing cues. It becomes about feeling the movement, recognizing when something is off and adjusting accordingly. Think about your body like a blade. A knife with only one sharp edge is limited, but a properly honed blade can cut in any direction. Similarly, a well-rounded body isn't just strong in one motion or aesthetic in one pose. It's functional, balanced and adaptable. Learning anatomy is what hones your training, making you not just stronger, but smarter and more in control of your own progress. Breathing is one of the most overlooked aspects in training, but it plays a critical role in strength, endurance and injury prevention. I've seen experienced lifters who struggle to reach their full potential simply because they never learned how to breathe correctly during exercise. It's not just about inhaling and exhaling, it's about timing, control and efficiency. Your breath is your power source. Every movement in training relies on oxygen as fuel, and mastering your breathing mechanics will allow you to lift heavier, move longer and recover faster. Here is why proper breathing matters. Power output and endurance. Your muscles need oxygen to function efficiently. Controlled breathing ensures they get the fuel they need to sustain effort, whether you're lifting heavy or performing high-rep endurance work. Core stability and injury prevention. Breathing isn't just about oxygen intake, it is also about bracing. The way you breathe directly affects your intra-abdominal pressure, which is essential for core stability. Holding your breath incorrectly or exhaling at the wrong time can put excessive strain on your lower back, increasing injury risk. Faster recovery between sets and workouts. Deep, controlled breathing helps regulate your heart rate and nervous system, allowing you to recover more efficiently and maintain performance throughout your workouts. Breathing can be different for strength and endurance training. Power-based movements require core tension and stability, which means controlling your breath to maximize force production. Let's take pull-ups for example. If you exhale too early during a pull-up, you lose your core engagement, making the movement harder. Here is what to do instead. First, inhale deeply before pulling yourself up. Then, hold your breath at the top to maintain tension. And finally, exhale on the way down in a controlled manner to keep stability. This technique, known as the Valsalva maneuver, is widely used in strength training to maintain intra-abdominal pressure for maximum power. Oxygen efficiency is key for stamina-based exercises. Rhythmic breathing helps delay fatigue and keeps your muscles working optimally. Let's take burpees and push-ups for example here. Instead of holding your breath, follow a natural cadence. Exhale slightly with each repetition, when pushing up or jumping. Inhale during the eccentric, lowering phase to replenish oxygen. Avoid shallow chest breathing. Breathe from the diaphragm for deeper oxygen intake. Most people don't think about their breath until they are already fatigued, but by then it's too late. Train yourself to breathe with intention from the start of each set. The biggest driver of long-term consistency isn't just wanting to look good. It's a reason to train that goes beyond aesthetics. Physical changes can be motivating to a certain extent, but they are not enough to sustain discipline and consistency through setbacks, plateaus, and the inevitable fluctuations in progress. When I first started training, my motivation wasn't just about building muscle. It was rooted in martial arts and gymnastics, two disciplines where strength, mobility, and control were essential. Later, calisthenics became my passion because it felt like a direct expression of body mastery. Every push-up, muscle-up, and handstand was more than just an exercise. It was a skill to refine. When you connect training to something you love, your workouts gain purpose beyond numbers on a scale or in a mirror. If you are an athlete, strength and endurance training directly improve your performance. If you love dance, mobility and flexibility work enhance your movement. If you enjoy hiking, functional leg and core training will make your climbs easier and more enjoyable. This shift in mindset is powerful. You go from feeling like you have to work out to wanting to. Training then becomes something you look forward to because it's an essential part of something bigger. Aesthetics become a byproduct and not the sole reason. The first few months of calisthenics are exciting. Everything improves quickly. Strength, endurance, and skill acquisition accelerate due to neurological adaptations, where your body becomes more efficient at recruiting muscle fibers. But this honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. Progress naturally slows over time, and when that happens, many people start doubting themselves. A common mistake is trying to force progress by increasing volume, intensity, or complexity way too soon. While pushing yourself is important, there is a fine line between smart progression and burnout. Even with perfect recovery, no one progresses with the same speed indefinitely. Progress in calisthenics or any discipline is not linear. Specialization plays a huge role. If you train broadly across multiple areas, strength, endurance, mobility, and skills, your progress will be slower compared to someone solely focused on mastering one element, like handstands or planches. This is where social media can distort expectations. It is easy to compare yourself to elite athletes who have been training for years, if not decades, often specializing in specific movements. What looks like effortless progress is usually the result of thousands of hours of focused practice. If you measure your day 1 against someone else's year 10, you are setting yourself up for frustration. Instead of using social media as a comparison trap, turn it into a tool for inspiration and education. Seek out people at a similar level who share their struggles and breakthroughs. Seeing their steady progress can reinforce the reality that improvements take time. Learn from advanced athletes instead of feeling behind. Instead of asking why am I not there yet, ask what can I learn from them. Study their technique, training philosophy and mindset. Filter out unrealistic content. Many influencers showcase only their best moments, skipping the failures and slow progress that happen behind the scenes. If certain accounts make you feel discouraged rather than motivated, consider unfollowing them. Progress slows down for everyone at some point. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're reaching a level where improvements require more time and precision. The key is to embrace the long game. Stay patient, focus on small wins, and train with a mindset of longevity, rather than short-term gratification. One of the biggest misconceptions in fitness is that you need to eat in a huge calorie surplus to build muscle. While this strategy is sometimes used by bodybuilders and powerlifters who rely on absolute strength rather than body weight efficiency, it can be counterproductive for calisthenics. Calisthenics is all about strength to weight ratio. Unlike weightlifting, where extra mass can provide leverage and stability, in bodyweight training every pound you gain is a pound you have to lift. A 10-pound weight increase might not affect your deadlift much, but in calisthenics, it can be the difference between effortlessly repping out pull-ups and struggling to get a few. Skills like planches, front levers and muscle-ups become exponentially harder when carrying unnecessary body fat. Rather than aggressive bulking, focus on lean muscle growth by optimizing your nutrition and training. Eat in a very slight calorie surplus or maintenance. Instead of force-feeding yourself to gain size, prioritize gradual, quality muscle growth. If you are already at a healthy body fat percentage, maintenance calories coupled with progressive overload will still lead to sustainable gains. Prioritize protein intake. Protein supports muscle repair and growth for 4 calories per gram. Aim for 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass for optimal results. Train with progressive overload. Your body adapts by getting stronger, not just heavier. Focus on structured progressions, whether increasing repetitions, adding difficulty, or improving technique. Keep your body fat at an optimal level. For most, this means around 10 to 15% for men and 18 to 22% for women, depending on individual goals. Staying lean ensures better mobility, endurance, and efficiency in bodyweight movements. Maintaining a lean body weight doesn't mean staying underweight or sacrificing strength. It means finding your optimal balance, where you're strong, agile, and efficient in movement. Calisthenics athletes don't just chase muscle size, they train for functional strength, mobility, and control. Over time, with consistent training and proper nutrition, muscle will come naturally, without the drawbacks and unnecessary fat gain. Prioritize performance over mass, and your physique will reflect the strength you build. Remember, progress isn't about rushing to the finish line. Stay patient, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Your best results will not come only from what you do, but how well you do it. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe to my channel to support my work. I'll see you in the next session.